Hey everyone, this is Heather with the Potomac Bead Company. Today I'm going to show you how to make one of our newest bracelets called the Valley Bracelet. This bracelet is fairly simple. It is based on a peyote stitch, and we are using two-holed beads, two different kinds of two-hole beads. What you see here is a peyote stitch in the Rulla beads right here. These are our two-hole beads, and incorporated in that I actually have our new beads called the pyramid beads. The size of the pyramid beads that you're seeing here is actually a 6x6 millimeter bead, and I also have some 11 seed beads. This is a 7.5 inch bracelet. So for this bracelet I used about 16, maybe 15 grams of Rulla beads, and I did use about 23 of my pyramid beads. We sell them in pack of 25. So for this size 7.5 inch bracelet, I used 23. And you'll also need some 11 seed beads. So the colors that you see here, in case you happen to like the colors, the pyramid beads were actually in a crystal Labrador, a pack of 25, and the color that you see in the Rulla bead is actually a sapphire matte color. And like I said, you'll need about 15 to 16 grams worth. And the 11's are just in a plain white, crystal white. The toggle and clasp were actually just the handmade. I used seed beads for the clasp, and my toggle I used a silver cup button. I'm really liking the cup buttons for my clasp. They're so easy to use. You'll also need a size 10 or 12, excuse me, size 10 or 12 beading needle, and you'll need some wildfire thread, or any thread that you're actually used to working with. I like wildfire, and the size that I'm using is a 0.008 inch. So go ahead and grab your materials, and I'm going to show you the colors that we're using today. I'm going to go a little earthy on you. So I've got my pyramid beads here, and this is going to be in the color Alabaster Travertine, in a pack of 25. Like I said, the size of that is going to be 6x6 millimeter. I've got my Rulla beads here, and that's actually in a turquoise dark travertine, and this is all 16 grams sitting right here in front of you. My 11 seed beads, I'm using a gold cluster bead in 11, and you're only going to need a couple of grams, maybe 3 to 4 grams. And then the cup button that I'm going to use is an amber Picasso. So I've gone ahead and strung on my thread, and I've used a stop bead. My stop bead is going to help me prevent my project to kind of move about. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick up 3 of your Rulla beads, place that onto your needle, and drop it down to your stop bead. Then you're going to pick up one of your pyramid beads, making sure that you're picking up the right side of the hole. As you can see here, the pyramid bead, they have 2 holes, one on the left and one on the right. And you want to make sure for this project that you're actually picking them up on the left. You're going to slide your needle through the left side. Otherwise, if you pick it up on slide your needle through the right side, it's gonna there's gonna be a gap there. There's gonna be too much room, and your pyramid beads are gonna be kind of clustered together. So make sure that you pick your pyramid bead to the hole, with the hole closest to the left side. And you'll see what I mean once we get this project started. And then I'm gonna pick 3 more Rulla beads. And drop them down. So at this part, what I'm going to do is pick up 2 11 seed beads, or whatever kind of seed beads you want for your embellishments on the side. And I'm actually going to pick up another Rulla bead, and I'm going to show you what we're doing. So pick up 1 Rulla bead and slide that down. And we're going to start our peyote stitch right now. So what I'm going to do, I want my Rulla bead to actually sit like this, right next to the Rulla bead up top. And I want my second Rulla bead on my first row to kind of go inside. I don't want it sticking out. So what we're going to do is take our needle and take it through that second hole of our second Rulla bead. And then you're just going to pull. and make it nice and tight. And that's how it's going to lay. Your peyote stitch is going to lay just like that. It's pretty simple. Then pick up another Rulla bead, drop that down, and what you're going to do is take your needle through that second hole of your pyramid bead, just this pyramid bead. We're going to skip the Rulla bead that's already in place or in the row before it, because that's what peyote does, and then take it through your triangle, your pyramid bead. And we're going to do the same thing to the bottom portion of, let me get my tail out. We're going to do the same thing down below. Trying to fix my tail here. We're going to pick up a Rulla bead and skip this Rulla bead that's already in place, and then take our needle down that second to last Rulla bead in that second hole. And just kind of pull. Then I'm going to pick up another Rulla bead and drop that down and kind of position the Rulla bead already in place so that I know how I want it to form. And then I'm going to pick up two 11-0 seed beads. And then at this point I'm going to round about and I'm going to start on my next row. I'm going to take my needle up that second hole of the Rulla bead we just added, and I'm going to pull nice and tight. Now I'm going to start my 1, 2, 3. This is going to be my third row here. Pick up a Rulla bead. Actually, it's going to be my fourth row. Pick up a Rulla bead and drop that down, and then take your needle up that second hole of the Rulla bead in front. And now I'm going to pick up a pyramid bead, making sure I'm taking my needle through the hole closest to the left. And dropping that down, and I'm right up against a Rulla bead, and the hole hasn't been, we haven't gone through it, so that's what I'm going to do right now. Just take my needle through that hole. So it's just like that. Then pick up another Rulla bead, drop that down, and take your needle up through that next Rulla bead in line and just kind of give it a tug. I'm going to pick up two 11-0 seed beads and another Rulla bead. And this is where we're going to swing our project around, so we're going back down. And we're going to take our needle down the second Rulla bead in the previous line, previous row, and just kind of pull. And then I'm going to pick up another Rulla bead, take it through that second hole of my pyramid, because that's what's kind of jutting out. That's what's next in line. And now I'm ready for another Rulla bead. Pick up a Rulla bead and take your needle down. That's the next Rulla bead in that previous row. And then I'm going to finish off this column or this row, with a Rulla bead. And then pick up two 11-0 seed beads, drop that down, and then take your needle, now that we're going to curve it around and begin the next row, take our needle up that second hole of that Rulla bead we just added. And then we're going to just keep continuing with this pattern. Pick up a Rulla bead, drop it down, and then take our needle and thread up the next Rulla bead that's kind of hanging out there. Wants a companion, that space needs to be filled. Now we're ready for another pyramid bead. So I'm going to pick up my pyramid bead, make sure I'm going through the hole to the left, and then take my needle up that second hole of my Rulla bead. And just kind of pull. And then pick up a Rulla, and then take your needle up through that last Rulla bead of the column. And you're going to finish it off by adding two 11-0 seed beads, dropping that down, and getting ready for your next row by picking up a Rulla bead, and then taking your needle down the Rulla bead kind of just hanging out and pulling nice and tight. And then we're just going to continue this pattern. It's a very simple pattern and it works up pretty quickly. And then you're gonna keep going until you've reached your desired length of your bracelet. If you want a 7.5 inch bracelet, just keep going until it's about a 7 inch and leave about 1/2 inch for your toggle and clasp. So keep working on your bracelet. Okay, so now that you've completed the length of your bracelet and you're ready to close it up. So what I'm going to show you is how to add the toggle portion using your cut button. We're going to fix this part first. And I forgot to mention, before cutting your thread, how to measure how long your thread you'll need for this bracelet is about 2 arms length of thread. So if you measure your arm twice with using that thread, then that's about how long you'll need, the length of thread that you'll need for this project. I did not have to add on thread because I was actually able to use, a couple of feet of the thread that I cut off. So just a tidbit, I forgot to mention that at the very beginning. So now that we're actually finishing up our project, what we're going to do here is we're going to pick up 2 11-0 seed beads and take it up through the Rulla bead, and I'm going to pick up 1 11-0, actually I'm going to pick up 2 11-0 seed beads, and for right now, and then I'm going to pick up another 6 11-0 seed beads. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is going to go on my needle, and then I'm going to put my cut button on. I like to do the concave portion down, but it's per preference, whichever preference you guys want. And then I'm going to add 2 seed beads and then take my needle back down through the second hole of my cut button. Now, if you're not using a cut button for your toggle, this is the actual place where you are going to use your toggle. You're gonna attach your toggle. So I guess kind of follow the same instructions, except instead of using the cut button, you're going to add your toggle. And then what you're going to do is try to squeeze your thread at this point down only 6 of the 11-0 seed beads that you added, as you can see right there, and kind of holding and pulling so that your project is nice and tight. Pull your needle, and now we're going to add 2 more 11-0 seed beads, and then take that up through the second hole of the Rulla that's above the pyramid, and then we're going to do 2 more 11-0 seed beads, and then take that up through the last Rulla. And then at that point, what I'm going to do is take my needle to the left of that Rulla, and I'm just going to, at this point, this is where you're going to kind of do some bead weaving through the beads that you already have, and probably do some half hitch knots to kind of secure your thread, your remaining thread. So you know that's, you're done with your toggle, and I'm going to flip my project around to the other end, and I'm going to take my stop bead off, knowing that I have enough thread to actually finish off my clasp portion. And if you want to use seed beads for this, this is actually, this is where you're going to use seed beads, or if you wanted to do another type of clasp, then you're going to follow the same method here. So I'm picking up 2 11-0 seed beads, and I'm going to take it down to the right of my second hole of my Rulla. So we're kind of going to replicate the other end. Like what we did on this end, we're going to do on this end. Picking up 2 11-0 seed beads and taking it down that Rulla, the second hole of that Rulla. I'm picking up 2 11-0 seed beads. Actually, let's make that 3 11-0 seed beads. And then 2 more. The 2 that we're adding is actually going to be the transition for the circle that I'm going to add. And I'm going to add about 27. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. I'm actually going to add 29 because I think that's how many seed beads I need for a toggle. So I added 29 seed beads, 11 seed beads after the initial 3 for my for this area, and then 2 for my transition. So what I'm going to do is actually take my needle down these 2 seed beads. So I'm going to count 3 and then count 2. And then bring my needle down. And if you want to make sure that 27 or 29 seed beads actually work, this is a good time to kind of adjust and see whether or not your toggle is actually going to fit through your homemade seed bead clasp. And it looks like it does, so I'm going to keep seed beading. At this point, I'm going to pick up 3 of my 11 O's and take my needle down that second hole of my rulla, and see how I kind of did that. The 2 seed beads sitting up front with my little transition area to make my clasp just a little bit longer. And then I'm going to pick up 2 more 11 seed beads and then finish up my project taking my needle down that last rulla. And at this point, this is when I'm going to take my needle back down my second hole to the left of my rulla, and I'm going to make some half hitch knots and just secure my project up a little bit. And there's your Mountain Valley bracelet that you've just created. And I hope it was an easy bracelet. I hope you understood. I hope I was clear. And feel free to visit us on PotomacBeads.com, so you can find some of the products that you see here and you could purchase them. So you could make your own bracelet or another one for a friend. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. We do have other tutorials on YouTube that I welcome you to watch. And again, feel free to leave some comments and we'll answer any of your questions as soon as we can. And thanks a lot for watching.